You ever notice how some people just don't exist online? No posts, no stories, no updates about their life. It's like they're completely invisible on social media. And in a world where everyone is constantly sharing, that feels almost strange. Because today, people post everything: what they eat, where they go, who they're with. So when someone chooses not to post at all, it makes you wonder, are they private? Are they hiding something? Or do they just not care? But here's the part most people don't realize. Staying silent on social media isn't always about being inactive. Sometimes it says more about a person's psychology than posting ever could. So, what kind of mindset does it take to stay completely off the grid in a world that constantly demands attention? So today, we're going to dive deep into the psychology of these rare people, the ones who don't feel the need to constantly post their lives online. And once you understand their mindset, you might start seeing social media very differently. Internal validation and confidence. People who don't post much often don't rely on external approval. They don't need likes, comments, or views to feel good about themselves. They do not need the deceitful dopamine to give them a false sense of value. Because their sense of worth comes from within, they can achieve something meaningful and feel satisfied without announcing it to the world. And that kind of confidence is quiet, but powerful. Privacy and boundaries. For them, not everything needs to be shared. They understand that the more you show, the more access people have to your life. So they choose to keep certain things private, not because they're hiding, but because they value boundaries. They know that peace often exists in what you don't reveal. Living in the moment. While others are busy capturing the moment, they're actually living it. They don't interrupt experiences to take the perfect picture. They don't pause life to post about it. Because for them, the experience itself is enough. Not everything needs to be documented to be meaningful. Lower social comparison. When you're not constantly posting, you're also not constantly comparing. You're not measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel. And that naturally reduces pressure, less anxiety, less self-doubt, more focus on your own path, because your life stops being a performance and starts becoming something real. Strategic silence. Their silence isn't accidental, it's intentional. They observe more than they speak. They don't feel the need to react to everything or share every opinion, because they understand something most people don't. Not everything deserves your attention, and not everything needs your voice. High self-awareness. People who stay offline more often tend to spend more time with their own thoughts. They reflect, they analyze, they understand themselves on a deeper level, because instead of constantly projecting outward, they look inward. And that builds clarity about who they are and what actually matters to them. Now, when you put all of this together, something becomes very clear. Not posting on social media isn't always about being inactive. Sometimes it's a conscious choice, a different way of living, and there are real benefits to it. You protect your mental energy. You reduce unnecessary comparison. You build stronger focus toward your dreams. You experience life more directly instead of through a screen. And most importantly, you develop a sense of self that isn't dependent on other people's reactions and validation. So maybe the question isn't, why don't they post? Maybe the real question is, what do they understand that most people don't? And if you've been someone who feels pressured to constantly share your life, maybe it's time to step back for a moment and ask yourself, am I living this moment or just trying to show it? If this made you see things differently or reminded you of someone who lives like this, share this video with them, because sometimes the most powerful presence is the one that doesn't need to be seen all the time.